entertainmentbuddha.com.
Rock and roll, motherfucker! Star Wars! Woo! Hey now, everyone! It is Matt from the Star Wars Time Show. I'm here with Nick. We're going to talk about a little special thing that's popped up since the last time we discussed Star Wars with you, and that is a major leak from the Star Wars The Last Jedi set. And I don't even know if it's a set leak, Nick. I mean, these almost look like pictures that were taken on purpose on studio for promotional purposes or whatever, but they leaked this week. And with at least the way I looked at them, buddy, I mean, these images shouldn't have made it out to the public, right?
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, these images almost look like character. I don't want to say costume tests. They could be costume tests, but like they're definitely like character image tests, because they're flat behind white backgrounds. There's, like you said, they're not on a set or anything like that. So I mean, it's almost like you said, it's like promotional stuff. I mean, a lot of these images that we see of the main characters from The Last Jedi are them posing, doing iconic poses that we expect to see at some point in the movie. You have a variety of characters. I mean, you have Finn, you have Kylo, you have Luke Skywalker, you have, Rey, and then obviously the biggest one that everybody is kind of losing their shit about is that we finally get this up close and personal look at Snoke. Oh,
Snoke.
And, man, that image is very, very interesting. You finally get to see the true, depth of his injuries that he's sustained from whatever the hell he went through. Yeah, I mean, you look at it and the first thing you think to yourself is like, how is this dude alive? Like, what the fuck happened to him, and how is he still living after going through whatever he went through?
So, I mean, do you think he's a human based on that image? I mean, he looks pretty goddamn humanoid.
Yeah, I mean, down to the facial features, I mean...
As far as we can classify a human in the Star Wars universe, I'm talking like, is he equivalent to Han, Luke, Leia?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, like, everything about his face that we can see in this image looks human. Not humanoid, like actually human. So, this dude, I mean, we've heard tales in Star Wars Legends of Sith being able to live through just immense amounts of, damage and pain. Obviously, we've seen it with Darth Vader in the films, but I mean... it's pretty crazy. If you have not seen these images, they're going to be hard to find now because there's so many places.
Yeah,
and
we're not going to share them because they are taboo as fuck.
Yeah, so if you guys want to try to get lucky on Google search or just around some crazy forums and Reddit, you might be able to find them. But
I've already been sued once. I ain't doing it again.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Definitely not worth it. But take our word for it. If you have not seen the images, they're excellent. So, but yeah, man, let's get into Snoke a little bit. So this guy is jacked up. So does this new image kind of give you any more ideas of who he could be, who his real identity could be?
I think the only things anyone could zero in on based on his physical deformities are his eyes because of the color. I mean, they're very striking blue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And his clothes. I think his clothes could give away who he is or the type of person he is or what he subscribes to, because I mean, they're golden, and it does seem more like not like a Jedi or Sith robe, but more like a king or a queen's robe. Where it just kind of fits you nice and snugly down the middle. You have this high arcing back piece behind your head, and all the pomp and circumstance type of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely looks like he is. Well, he dresses like he sees himself as royalty. Now, we saw Snoke in Episode 7, but it was only in, the form of the hologram.
And he looks much more like an alien in those scenes, correct? Now that you've seen this?
His face almost seemed like more, it was more amorphous, for lack of a better term.
It looked to me more like your stereotypical alien, like the more oval-shaped head and the slit eyes.
Yeah, but now with this image, it's very, very different. So obviously we were dealing with some distortion from the hologram. We're also dealing with just like the overall, scale of him, because he was blown up to such a huge proportion in the movie. Obviously he's not going to be that big in real life.
Yeah, he's normal size. He's humanoid size. He might be 6 foot.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, I think the clothes could give away, at least some sort of background to what he was doing before he became this Dark Force power in the known galaxy. So, like you said, gold, very high neck, it looks very royal, very regal.
It's almost, the more I look at it, and with the white tunic under it, it's almost like samurai culture like.
Yeah, and that, now that you bring up samurai culture, there's some other images that also leaked that fit with that same theme. So, in the Star Wars universe, we know that, George Lucas drew inspiration for lightsaber combat and just overall mannerisms of Jedi.
It's all from it.
Yeah, from samurai. But we've never really seen like an outward, like showing samurai-like force in the Star Wars galaxy, maybe outside of some instances in the cartoon series. So if he is part of some sort of like, samurai-like order, it'll probably be something that's going to be introduced for the first time to us in the live-action movies. Also, like, when I saw this, it lent more credence, well, not even really credence, but it kind of started to make me believe again that he could fulfill this role that was, written about, and that has been, that was being written about and is being written about in the book series, in the current book series as well, about this emperor that was living out, in the unknown regions of space, pretty much.
Yeah, not even really an emperor, but just a being of power.
Yeah, like a strong dark force user who is in the outer regions of space. Through the book series of, what is it called now? Aftermath. Through the Aftermath series of books, we already know that Palpatine was investigating this force in some way. He had a facility that he discovered on, it wasn't Jakku.
Yeah,
it was Jakku.
Yeah, it was Jakku.
So, yeah, they had this facility on Jakku that they discovered, and it helped them to kind of, I don't know if triangulate's the right word, but it basically helped them track down the area where the signal was coming from, or where this dark force energy was coming from in the unknown regions of space. So, it's looking more and more like whoever Snoke is, he's going to fill this role that we've been hearing about in the books, that we've, even heard about from the Legends series in Star Wars, of this unknown dark force that has finally kind of come to prominence in the galaxy.
No, and I think you're spot on. And really, Snoke he has two options. He's gonna be completely brand new, like you said, from the unknown regions, a species we never heard of, a force we never heard of, or he's gonna be someone that surprises us, that we may not have seen him in the previous 7 movies, or at least the 6 movies, but we heard about the type of people or who they could be. Or, maybe there's case for a third reasoning or example of getting someone into this film, or really this new trilogy, is that maybe it's someone from the expanded universe that we might have forgotten about or didn't think it would turn to anyone. So,
yeah.
What, dude, deep down, straight up, looking at this guy, is this going to be someone brand new, someone we might have known about, or a faction we've heard of?
I am still on the train that the most likely candidate, and I know that people have already come out and said, like, it's not him. I still think it's probably Darth Plagueis, even though Darth Plagueis is old canon, Legends canon. but he's still a part of the new canon in the actual canon through episode 3.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The book,
that's a great point. He was mentioned in the fucking George Lucas movie, so he's legit.
So the book, the book that's out called Darth Plagueis is a Legends series book. So none of the things that are in that book apply to the character of Darth Plagueis as we know in the current canon of Star Wars. So in the book, he was like a humanoid alien with a longer face, a little different in terms of look, but also had similar facial features to what we're seeing now in Snoke. And that's what a lot of people use to kind of draw their inspiration. When they first saw Snoke, they're like, oh, it could be Plagueis. But it's just like, for me, it would be, I still just go back to it being odd, and like you want to build storylines and you want to build things that can continue storylines across multiple movies, and I feel like he would be the perfect character for it, because not only are you drawing in Darth Plagueis,
right,
who was Palpatine's master and everything like that, but you're also putting Darth Plagueis next to Kylo Ren, who is Darth Vader's grandson, and pretty much, the story of Darth Plagueis is one of the big factors that led to Anakin's downfall. So now you have the inspiration behind, Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader is now basically become the dark side trainer of his grandson. And I think that would be an excellent storyline. And it would also be cool just to see how, Luke Skywalker reacts to it, knowing that this guy is an immensely powerful Dark Force user. So that would be my favorite.
Well, shit, dude. I mean, think about this guy. If we're going to go that he's Plagueis, he lost, and he bided his time for what, 60 years?
Yeah, 60 plus years. I mean, he's been out there, but
that's very Sith-like, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they play the long game, especially knowing that one of Darth Plagueis' signature abilities was to be able to, create life through the Force. Somebody like that's not going to rush out and try to get immediate vengeance against somebody. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a very powerful, very wise...
Well, if you look at his injuries, and if we believe these were caused by another Force user, it might have taken him decades to even regain abilities to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And, if we know anything about Palpatine, it's that, one, he claims to have killed Plagueis. But that doesn't mean that it actually happened. He said he killed him in his sleep. So, I mean, that's a very cowardly way to kill somebody. And usually, if you kill somebody in their sleep, maybe you're trying to do a rush job, you get out, you don't hang around too long to see if he's actually dead. So who knows? Maybe he, Palpatine runs in, gives him a lightsaber across the face, shocks him with a little bit of lightning, and then gets out of there and assumes he's dead, and then kind of takes control of the man as, Lord of the Sith, the one and only Lord of the Sith. But who knows? Maybe this guy pulled it through, and then, like you said, has been biding his time, healing, and really trying to get back to 100% strength.
I mean, to me, dude, it looks like he took some sort of blunt force trauma to the top of his head, right?
Oh,
Saber
yeah.
strike, whatever. And then it looks like the left side of his face literally got melted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has holes in his mouth, his throat, his chest.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's only on that one side. So I mean, it's clearly to me that he got fucked up.
Yeah.
Like this isn't what he looked like. He got fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, even to the point to where like his left eye is like significantly sagging.
Fucked up. I mean, he got fucked up.
So but it just feels like to me like that's who makes the most sense, but who knows? They could bring in, but it would be so weird to me that they would bring in a new character and then have to explain why he looks like that. Like with Plagueis, you kind of have a built-in reason already.
Right. Based on this image, we almost deserve, and I hate to say that because I think it's very selfish and entitled, but we deserve an explanation of why this person looks the way he does, because it's not his natural either humanoid or alien appearance. I mean, it's clearly something happened to him.
Yeah.
That we almost have to see to justify why he looks the way he does.
See, to me, if that's going to happen, that's going to be an episode 9 thread.
You think 9?
Yeah, I think that would be 9. Because 1 is probably not something he talks about to anybody. And so, like, that would be I don't want to say, like, a final confrontation story or anything like that.
But haven't we also heard in this episode that he's still not really a main focus in terms of the narrative and explaining, his motivations, his past? I'm pretty sure that was issued, like, hey, you're going to see Snoke, but guess what? You're still not really going to get fed that much information on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his time yet. We know who the main players and who the main focus is going to be on in this movie. It's going to be on Kylo Ren.
So he's still like the Emperor, but slightly more prominent than the Emperor was in, episode 4, obviously he was missing completely, and then 5, they've dubbed in Ian McDiarmid over the guy in the ape eyes they used originally. Yeah.
So he's going to play a bigger role than that for sure. I mean, just purely based off of the last line in episode 7, well, not the last line, but one of the, the finishing sequences in episode 7 where he tells General Hux, like, get Kylo Ren, bring him to me, it's time to complete his training.
Right.
So we may get some scenes of, real Snoke, not hologram Snoke, with Kylo Ren going through Dark Force training of some sort, maybe giving him some more insight into how to properly utilize the dark side of the Force, how to tap into it so he's not feeling this conflict within himself anymore like he was feeling after he killed his father. So we'll probably see some of that, but really the main players in this one are going to be Kylo, Rey, Luke. That's going to be like that's going to be like the main thread through this story with obviously...
I still think Finn's going to get a huge amount of screen time with Rose.
Oh yeah, I mean we figure that this movie is going to be two and a half hours.
I think Poe is probably going to get the least amount of screen time out of all of them.
Probably so, just because he's not paired with another huge character,
right? I mean, at this point, he's not even Han Solo level, honestly.
No, I mean, the Han Solo character, like you said, is kind of absent now. So we don't really have somebody who's going to step up and take that mantle yet. We thought it could have been, the Finn-Poe kind of relationship now. But now that Chewie has the Falcon with Rey, we know that, the ancestral
You're
home of
exactly
the
right.
Solos
I mean,
is
there is no Han, period, backup Han if they don't have the Falcon.
Yeah.
So Rey is just as much as Han as anyone else.
Yeah, that's about, she's as close as we're going to get because they have very similar personalities. Poe is interesting because we really don't know a lot about what he's going to be doing in this movie. I mean, we know generally what Finn's going to be doing. He has the infiltration mission onto some sort of First Order vessel with Kelly Marie Tran, with Rose. And then after that, we've seen him already, like we talked about in the last cast, in a Resistance flight suit. So we know he's going to be in battle.
I can't wait to see that dude, right? I mean, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, dude, we got to get him in an X-Wing or an A-Wing or a classic Star Wars, Rebel type of vehecle.
I think that would be excellent to see, and then him just in the sky
just lighting it up.
Ties.
Reuniting with Poe side by side. Obviously Poe's not going to have his black fighter because that's not a spoiler, people. I mean, that's been shown in the trailer and the behind the scenes footage. That shit gets fucked up. All right, It's done.
Dude, could you imagine that though? Like we're watching a dogfight in the sky. Poe, like Finn's, first time flyer, might be in the pilot seat for the first time. He's got somebody on him, and then Poe swoops in, kills the dude, and then flies up on his wing, and that's like their reunion moment.
Oh yeah, it'd be fantastic. It'd be so bro-y too, because they're gonna be like, bro.
Those two, man, they got something special going on.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, But we don't really know what Poe's going to be doing. We've only seen him on the craft, on the vessel that gets, blown to hell by the First Order. But after that, we haven't seen much of him, either in the behind the scenes or in the first trailer drop. So there's a huge gap with his character that, we don't know where he's going to be or who he's going to be with other than BB-8. So maybe he's running some kind of special missions. Maybe him and Leia have some more interactions in the film.
You gotta remember, he's a guy that literally the actor pleaded to keep the character alive. I mean, he was technically supposed to be wiped out fairly quick in The Force Awakens.
Well, I mean, with an actor the caliber of Oscar Isaacs, I don't think you want to try to get rid of him.
Right, but he kind of made the case like, no, I mean, he should be one of the main dudes. So
yeah. He should be.
But I do think, I mean, even in Force Awakens, he didn't play he did play a major role, obviously, in the key battles, but he wasn't like a key character, I mean, he didn't really drive the narrative outside the beginning and just getting the thing moving.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think that's just who he'll be. I mean, that's just who he is. He's almost like a Lando.
Yeah, he's like a Lando in a way, but he's a little bit more... his loyalties are a little easier seen than Lando was.
Right, I mean, he's not a scumbag.
Yeah. So I would actually like to see his character come up in prominence a little bit more in the next two films, just because I do think that, I mean, Oscar Isaacs is a great actor. Everybody knows that already, but I think that character can do a lot more than they've currently done with him. Yeah,
he should be a general.
I mean, just move him up somewhere into the hierarchy, or bring him into the fray with Rey and with
exactly.
Finn,
I mean, if he is intended to live the 9, he should be a general at that point. I mean, let's face it, Han, Luke, they're all made fucking general commanders for no reason, so you might as well make Poe a general at least.
I mean, just think about what this dude just did. He just led a fucking a successful raid.
He's the one that ultimately blew up the
base.
base. He's the one that flew into the motherfucker and shot it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, Lando got general for, I'm pretty sure, a little less than that. Like, all of a sudden we come back
up the Falcon. He crashed the Falcon.
So it would be good to see Poe get some love in this movies. I think he is going to get some. We have to see. We're still yet to see where he's going to be going, but I think the next trailer we might be able to get a little bit more of his story.
I think he's going to keep close with Leia, but also kind of go on his own with BB.
Yeah, well, he's just a resistance guy. That's his life. That's his calling.
I think at this point he's probably one of Leia's most trusted people. I mean, it's got to be
him and Amilyn Holdo, like the new vice admiral, might have a lot.
I want to see what goes on with those two, because I mean, technically, when Starkiller Base shot off their fucking light beam in Force Awakens, it more or less wiped out most of the New Republic, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely took out the main planet where they were meeting. I mean, there was a character on there that we were supposed to see in scenes that were deleted in Force Awakens, but I mean, at this the Last Jedi, things are very up in the unknown. I mean, yes, you have the Resistance, yes, you have the First Order, but there's no real governing body. I mean, I'm sure there's parts of the New Republic still going on, but it's definitely not the controlling body that it was supposed to be after the Empire fell.
Yeah, exactly. And, the First Order really hasn't built itself up enough to be that controlling force in the galaxy the Empire was.
They've been fucking with them for years, though. I mean, even before The Force Awakens, it sounds like the First Order has been just the thorn in the side of democracy and the New Republic.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were almost like a splinter group, like a terrorist organization more than anything. And from what it seemed like, the New Republic didn't really give them a lot of respect, just because they never really had any kind of successful outward showings of force prior to the completion of Starkiller Base. So while this secret project was going on, the New Republic was just kind of, I don't want to say ignoring them, but they, kind of had the First Order on low alert status. I mean, aside from the Knights of Ren and everything like that. I mean, at least that's the way it seemed, because you would figure if there was a force in the galaxy like that there would be way more, military action towards them than just the resistance that Leia had put together, because that seemed like a relatively small band of people.
Oh, completely.
And I mean, you had like you said, you have an entire governmental structure with multiple planets, a part of it, and they almost, lent no military strength to the fight against the First Order from what we could see.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and that's well documented that the New Republic was very pussy-ish.
Yeah, so...
And it really did take people like General Leia to organize people against this First Order threat.
Yeah, it's very odd just to think about that in itself, and exactly how the First Order was allowed to grow the way it has, and become what it is now.
It's a lot of Luke's fault too.
Oh yeah, I mean he pretty much gave the First Order their best weapon with Kylo Ren. I mean, I know that you can't directly blame Luke. I mean, we'll probably see more about what happens with Kylo and his time at Luke's Jedi Academy, but ultimately he trained a very powerful Force user that turned to the dark side and is now gunning for, the Resistance and all that is good in the galaxy. So very hard times going on now.
All right, so one thing going back to Snoke, and I just saw today, I don't know if it was a joke or not, dude. I don't know if I brought it up, but did you see the theories that Snoke is Joe Castanew?
Yeah. Now...
I love people. I think that is just absolutely fantastic.
Just the creativity.
I mean, look
of the
at
Star
it though.
Wars
If you do look at her and at him and compare him to pictures of her, you can almost draw that very broad conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, they both wear gold cloaks.
Right, and they kind of look the same. Like if she got fucked up.
Yeah, like if she went through something like Anakin went through, where like her face just got melted.
Yeah, like look at her, dude. That could totally be Joe Castanew if she got just fucked up, like higher ground, fucked up.
Now, for those of you who don't know who Joe Castanew is, she is a literal one-off character from the prequels.
Jedi librarian. She
Jedi
knows all.
Librarian, yes. Obi-Wan talks to her, walks in the library and asks her about Camino. When he's looking for it, he's like, it's not on any of the maps or anything like that. And they have that conversation in the library. That is Joe Castanew, and that is the new theory around the internet that for some reason
I think it's fantastic.
She has become this and also turned to the dark side and is apparently just like the most powerful dark side Force user in the galaxy.
And she's transgender at this point.
Yeah, I mean it seems like that's a possibility.
I mean, Snoke sounded very masculine to me.
Very deep voice. Who knows? But it was a hologram, so he could be using
I'm not trying to draw conclusions, but we do know that Andy Serkis is his voice, and he is a man, so I don't know. I'm just going on that. But I thought that was a very entertaining fan theory, and just another reason why I love being a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, it's great that, the people that fans of Star Wars can pull from canon and attribute to...
Dude, the meme I saw was like, yo, what about your theory, bro? And then they just had a picture of Joe Castanew next to him. I'm like, this is awesome.
Too good. I mean, there's so many different theories out there. There's theories that there's the Tarkin theory is still alive. If you want to hear, a bunch of theories on Snoke, we've done a podcast on that way in the past.
Well, I mean...
But
one of my buddies, and he actually just joined on, he put out an article today, actually, Nick, that you'd probably even like reading. It's about Thrawn and where he thinks his impact on Star Wars, especially Rebels Season 4, is going to end up. So you guys should check that out. It's on entertainmentboo.com, obviously. But, I mean, he was talking about, obviously all these weird theories and Snoke and whatnot. And it's just, it's interesting where people take this stuff and how passionate people are and how we really have no idea where this shit could go. But he was kind of pitching that if you think about Snoke as a character and just the minimal amount of information we know, that he he kind of sounds like the Yuuzhan Vong, right? I mean, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Yuuzhan Vong from the...
Yeah, I mean, he's someone from the unknown universe that has this insane amount of power that knows what's been going on in this universe, and it might just be capitalizing on his time. So, I mean, again, before we move on, one last thing on Snoke, buddy. I mean, what do you think? I mean, is this one? Even if we don't find out in 8, do you think we'll get enough information in 8 to kind of clue us in on, is this someone that we should have known about, or is this someone that's going to be brand new and no one would know about him except those that worked on the project?
To me, that's a reveal that you save, because
right?
Apparently there's enough going to be happening in episode 8 that we probably don't need the Snoke reveal yet. So, like, save that bomb for 9, or save that story for 9 if he's not somebody that we already know. But
all right, so counting that, but just deep down, what do you think?
I don't think he's going to show up. I think we might get a few more hints.
No, in the end, do you think he's going to be someone we've known about, or someone we've never heard about, or someone from Legends that they brought back to life in the movie?
I think it's going to be somebody that we've heard about, and I think it's going to be...
Legend based or previous canon?
Jeez, I think I would love if they reached into Legends, because there's a lot of good characters.
I mean, dude, they've done it, right? They've done it.
Yeah, I mean they pulled Thrawn back.
Well, Thrawn and just Ben Solo. I mean, technically, he was Ben Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean they've drawn a lot of.
But they brought Han and Leia together and produced a Force-sensitive kid, which is very similar to Legend stories. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't think they're afraid to touch Legends. I just don't know how far they would delve into it, or if they'd keep pushing the boundaries. Like, okay, we got away with semi-Legends in Force Awakens, let's amp it up in Jedi.
I'm just gonna tell you, people would lose their shit if, like, and it wouldn't even matter if it made no sense in terms of the way that this character was, but people would lose their shit if it was Darth Revan. Like, if they just said in the movie, like, he's Darth Revan, it doesn't matter that he's 3,000 years old. Okay, people would lose it.
Yeah, I agree. But what do you think in a standard screening, day one, would get that reference in full?
I think a lot of Star Wars fans would.
You think so?
Just because of how popular Knights of the Old Republic was. And, I mean, a lot of people played Knights of the Old Republic. And then Revan has also seen a resurgence.
There's also a lot of people born in, like, 22, 23 that might not have ever played it.
But, well, and then the Star Wars MMO, he plays a huge part in that. And, like, that's technically not canon. That's all Legend stuff. But, I mean, he's a huge force. He's a huge character in that MMO now. And then there's books out about him as well. So, I mean, he's a well-documented character.
He is an action figure, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, his mask and his lightsaber... I mean, especially his mask.
Dual lightsabers, by the way.
I mean, he's a very iconic character. I mean, like, I want to get one
killer.
Of his masks.
It's
yeah,
killer.
It looks incredible.
It's like Mandalorian crossed with a Sith hood.
Yeah, it's fucking
badass.
Awesome.
I mean, dude, I had the figure, bro. I mean, it's literally, I mean, it costs a lot of money at this point. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic figure. I mean, his armor is pimp. He's got this cape that's all tattered and burnt, and that fucking Mandalorian Hunter Boba Fett type of style mask. He's a pimp.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing. He's just immensely powerful Force user. But if they brought somebody like him in, and I think the fans like us would go crazy even if it wasn't Revan, even if it was somebody else, like another prominent Dark Force user from Legends or from the old expanded universe, like, people would just, I mean, like, that would endear every Star Wars fan to this new trilogy, because there are still some of those haters out there who are like, oh, this is, stupid Disney crap. You gotta get over it.
I mean, at this point in time, people just blow, right? Yeah. I mean, for the most part. And excuse me, if you're listening to this, obviously we 100% appreciate you. We do. I mean, we love you. But for the most part, people are horrendous pieces of shit.
There are a lot of those out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes a struggle to get through life dealing with humanity.
Yeah, I mean, people can't even appreciate Star Wars movies anymore, man, just because Disney makes them. It's like,
right,
come
they
on.
you
gotta let
they
it
gotta
go.
pick it
You gotta
apart.
let it
Like,
go.
oh my god, this is saying.
I think Disney 100% redeemed themselves, if not with Episode 7, with just the Darth Vader scene from Rogue One. At the end.
I mean,
like,
Jesus Christ. Let's be real, people. I mean, if anyone ever has an issue with Star Wars, there's clearly only a select period of time where you can have issue with Star Wars, and that's 1999 to 2005.
Yeah, that's
it.
That's the grudge period that we hold.
And there's even shit within there, like, I don't know if you remember these, Nick. You might have been very young at this point in time, but we had these animated Clone Wars stories that were about a minute and a half a piece, right? I think his name was
Genndy Tartakovsky, right?
Yeah, Genndy Tartakovsky. I mean, yeah, he did like the samurai cartoon. But those were fucking great, and they at that time built right into the movies. I mean, literally, the last episode of the series led into how Grievous ended up with Palpatine and why Anakin and Obi needed to save him at the beginning of Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I mean, those were excellent cartoons. I have the DVDs of those. Actually, I have them back in Louisiana, but I mean, those were really good.
So the point is, I mean, that whole period of time wasn't a 100% waste, but it's still about a 98% waste.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to? Let's talk about this other character that you mentioned precast from the set photo or from the photo leak.
We talking about the elites?
Yes.
All right.
These guys. Okay, so everybody knows what the Imperial Guards look like from the original trilogy. Full red garb. They have their staff, and they just look.
I'm sorry, dude.
Menacing.
I'm sorry. Hold on, I gotta send you this link. I don't know what you're looking at, but some asshole drew a smiley face on this guy. I'm sorry, Nick. But I mean, but just to fill this in, I mean, this is a badass looking character. But someone drew like a generic ass smiley face on him, and it looks so much better. Hold on, just so Nick gets the same effect, so I'm not completely retarded. So once you pull that up, Nick, look at the post from Todd Skinner, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. But anyway, so dude, go ahead and describe the top pick here, and what we're looking at these in these elites, which are supposedly Snoke's boys, which again, he's a fucking Palpatine homie at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this looks very similar to the Imperial Guard's full red garb, except
way more badass.
Yeah, a lot cooler. Very, very samurai-like. The first one that we see has the full scaled arm guards, all the way up to the shoulders, like samurai do in, typical samurai movies that you see, and then also has a full helmet with no, like you pointed out, Matt, no
eye
way
slits
to see. Yeah, there's no eye slits, there's no eye holes or anything like that. So,
except with the smiley face.
Yeah, except with the smiley face drawn on, they got some cute beady eyes sitting on the outside of them. But then the first picture, this guy's also holding a massive, a pole arm. It looks like giant blade on the end of it. So, my first question for you, Matt, is, since you mentioned it, no eye slits, are these dudes Force users? And is that how they're like seeing and sensing things?
If you just scroll through these pictures, dude, and me being an action figure guy, and they're gonna make a figure, they have to, and I'm just imagining like the poses this dude's in, and the different weapons he has. It looks like this. He almost has a staff that is essentially two blades on it that he can detach and also use the blades single-handedly. But the way he looks, like there's like this very distinct Asian mouth slit, like it goes up and down. It differentiates the jawline and the mouth from the eye and the face. But the fact he has no fucking eye slits, I mean, they have to be in tune with something, right? I mean,
is he? Are they almost like cheering?
Unless that shit's like see through. I mean, I just there's nothing, right? I mean, there's no. There might be shadows of eye sockets, but there's no defined lenses.
No, not at all. So, I mean, unless it's like you said, if it's like super, like barely translucent to where it's like it's hard to see from the outside, but
if you stare at it long enough, you can see a trooper face, right? I mean, you see it, right?
Okay, yeah. On some of the other, yeah. All right,
go the one where he's
just like standing with two hands on the sword.
Exactly, he's holding it across his body.
Yeah,
I mean, the way the light is right there, that almost looks like a clone trooper helmet.
Yeah, in a way it does, because you can see like a distinct kind of black visor kind of thing.
Exactly, and then those white lines down the middle are distinct, and to me, that's not even like a lighting trick. Like that's almost like markings on the helmet.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, these characters look incredible, and I mean.
Do you like them better than the traditional Imperial Guards, though?
I mean, the problem with the Imperial Guards is, like, they looked badass. They looked menacing with their capes, staffs, the masks. Obviously, they had a similar mask. But we never got to see them do anything. Like, the only thing we ever got to see them do was, like, stand next to an elevator. So...
Oh, yeah, they did nothing. Yeah, they just walk away.
Yeah.
They literally, you'd see them just fold up and walk away.
Yeah, so... With these guys from these images,
when you were little, when you saw them, they stood out to you because they were red. They were so different for the Empire, right? I mean,
yeah, everybody else was
all
gray.
red with the black slit, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, like you knew the dudes were badass, and they just never got any kind of screen time. But with these guys, especially with the way that they're being shown off here in these photos, you have to see them in some sort of battle, right? Now, could this be who Rey and Kylo were fighting in the behind the scenes? We've seen...
Yeah, I mean... Yep, you're very right.
Because this dude's holding like a pole arm. He's holding a staff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you have one of them that's holding two.
Which could be very interesting if those are the implications, because as we speculated last time, we're like, these people, I mean... they're skilled because it looks like they're hanging with these Force users, which we know they're both Force users, and we know, honestly, with minimal training, Rey is even stronger than Kylo, and Kylo's been trained for years, so we know he's competent, and therefore we know Rey is extremely confident, but they're both going up against people that can somehow defend against a lightsaber blade.
Yeah.
Which is impossible outside of a few Clone Wars era, robots had the ability, and it looks like in the modern era, the First Order invented staffs with electrical abilities that could defend against sabers too.
And if you look at it, the one image that we were talking about where the guy's kind of holding the blade across his body, I mean, that has a very distinct look to it. That's not a regular blade. That could definitely be like a vibro sword. Something akin to a vibro sword that was in the old video games.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with that was a blade. It's essentially, if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, it's the Darksaber that Sabine comes in contact with. I mean, it's not a lightsaber, but it kind of is type of deal.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like it's black and it glows and it can deflect lightsaber.
Yeah, so, I mean, it almost kind of, like, if this one is activatable and can turn on...
Yeah, I mean, granted, we're not seeing special effects in this shot.
Yeah, but, I mean, that... And then just the way he's holding it, because that's one thing that we noted in the last cast, is that they were holding the blades, whoever was attacking, Kylo and Rey in these behind-the-scenes shots, they were holding the blade in a very Japanese style, Japanese kendo style. And that's, like, how he's holding this weapon here. I mean, like, he's got the two-hand, kind of separated grip that you would see in a typical, kendo-style fight. So, I mean, it's very possible that these are the people that both Kylo and Rey are fighting at one point.
The more I look at it, the more I'm like, how much influence do you think Rian Johnson had on this style versus this is just what, Lucasfilm's art departments and whatnot came up with? Because this is fucking far out, dude. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, Jesus, this is way out there. I mean, it's clearly based on the Imperial Guard.
Oh yeah, very much so. And
but it is fucking far out. I mean, these people look like they engage in combat regularly. Yeah, I mean, they're not just fucking hanging out.
Like, this is the elite of the elite. I mean, like, they're called the elite Praetorian Guards, but I mean, like, I would imagine that these people could maybe even dispatch the Knights of Ren if they went at them.
Yeah, I mean, this guy looks like a fucking badass.
Yeah, they're killers for sure. Like, they don't hold back, and their armor is just telling. I mean, you know that this armor is built to take blows from lightsabers. It's built to take blows from, blaster pistols.
If you just look at, like, the way the different light hits them, it just makes their helmet look so different.
Yeah, I mean, these characters...
Look at it. Like, it can be up or down, and, I mean, they look completely different.
Yeah, there's a lot of excellent, just excellent work with these guys.
So, as we wrap things up, how'd that fucking leak go down? Because, let's be honest, that's major. I mean, the shit that made it out, especially because you get a Snoke shot.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you got Rey shots, you got Finn shots, you got Luke. It's like, okay, whatever. We kind of seen that in the trailer. And then you get these Praetorian Guards and then fucking Snoke.
Yeah. Dude, if you look at all of these images, they look like... Okay, I mentioned it before, like, they're posed images, clearly.
They do this all the time. I mean, dude, I remember these images with the gray backgrounds from the prequels. Yeah. They're literally just shots, for fucking the art book or behind the scenes.
Do you think that they
promotional materials?
Do you think that they could have been using these for models for toy scale models or like busts or something like that?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it could be anything from that to shit them back up for promotional stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, like, that's where I think it could have been. Yeah, I mean,
these are product glamour shots.
Yeah,
is
absolutely
what you call them. I mean, they're glamour shots.
So I think that what probably happened is, like, Lucasfilm sent this off to some toy manufacturer, like Sideshow, Hasbro,
whatever. Yeah.
And, like, hey, look, these are the figures that we need. These are the poses that we want them in. And then, like, somebody from Hasbro either leaked them or they sent it over, like, an unsecure email server and then something happened. Who knows? But that's my guess. Is, like, they were sending these out to have work done, and then somebody picked them up or somebody leaked them in the transit period. And
then you have people like Todd Skinner that put the fucking smiley face on it.
Yep.
That's the best part.
Level.
I mean, how bad... I would pay for a figure that had that look.
Dude, that would be hilarious. You just need to buy two.
Look at him. He's like, nah.
So when these toys come out, you just need to buy two, leave one normal, and then draw the smiley face.
Burning look at him. He's like, nah. Oh, I love it. Love the internet. I mean, honestly, that's why I do what I do, is because of shit like that.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely
great
fantastic
work, Todd Skinner.
I mean, really, any of the other images, they're nothing new. I still think, dude, let's real quick. When do you think Rey moves into this clearly gray, Jakku-ish, but Jedi-ish type of outfit?
I mean, look
at it. Look at these images, dude. I mean, it's clearly a costume change since hell, the last we've seen her. It's going to be the first time we see her in Episode 8 is with Luke when we last left him.
Yeah,
and she changes into this.
Look, she did not bring a change of clothes to Acto, if I had to take a guess. So when this change happens, because this is a full, like you said, this is a full visual, outfit and hairstyle change. So I'm imagining that this happens after leaving Acto. But she keeps
the arm wraps. She keeps the arm wraps.
Yeah. So after, probably between either in the transition between Acts 2 and 3 or like late Act 2 when they're leaving. They leave Acto, they go somewhere, that's where the change happens.
But, I mean, don't you agree that it's very Rey-like, A? I mean, honestly, it's the exact same shit she wore in episode 7.
Yeah.
But it's now gray with a different belt.
Yeah, I mean, looks like female Qui-Gon Jinn from... There's a lot of comments like that on these images.
But, I mean, are you going to buy into the whole gray, I mean, the gray aspect and the gray Jedi and all that stuff?
I mean, they're not going to call it gray Jedi. I mean, I buy into the entire philosophy behind that. And
you just don't think that's going to be the official term?
No, they're not going to call it gray Jedi, but I feel like it's going to, like, whatever's going to come out of, you know, Luke's time from being on Acto.
Because, I mean, her looks very anti-Luke. It's not Jedi. It's not Sith. It's kind of a blend.
Yeah.
But it's also Rey Jakku. I mean, it's literally the same fucking outfit outside of the gray and the belt.
Yeah. I mean, and if you think about it, okay, so just thinking about Jedi in general, I mean, when you become a Jedi... in the old Republic days, like, you didn't even have a formed identity for you to be able to maintain before you became a Jedi. Like, you were handed over to the Jedi Council
as a baby,
and then you were a Jedi your whole life. So now this new style from Rey is showing that, like, you can embrace who you were.
Shit, Luke is the model.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, this visual style is like showing that you don't have to shun everything that you were anymore to become a Jedi.
Do you think then that this change in appearance is a reflection of Rey's growth towards whatever type of Force training she's getting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so for sure. Yeah, man, I mean,
I think it's badass. I mean, where she's holding when she's literally in the Qui-Gon pose there.
Yeah, I mean, she looks exactly... She looks so much like Qui-Gon.
She looks so badass. I mean, dude, Daisy Ridley is a badass.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't have casted the character of Rey.
Badass. And clearly, she's keeping the family Skywalker saber.
The family saber, yep.
That's hers. I mean, it's hers, be it she's family or not. I mean, and I even think Pablo cleared up on Twitter. I mean, it's her fucking saber.
Yeah. Yeah, so that means that either we're going to see Luke with no saber or Luke with...
Well, no, dude. Fuck it. I can tell you right now, they spoiled it in the toys.
Oh, really? He has the green?
They released early last week at SDCC. They released early Black Series figures of Jedi Master Luke and Rey training. And Rey clearly is in this outfit, you know, all the gray. But Luke's in his... the Force Awakens regal robes. He's not in the brown shit yet. But his lightsaber is clearly the Jedi lightsaber.
That's excellent.
So, to me, that's got to be what's going down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless they just needed, like, a fill-in saber for the toy, but I feel like they would probably just give whatever saber specification if they wanted it to be accurate. Especially for something like SDCC, like, you don't want to put out... shit that's not going to be in the movie or like not reflective of what the character's actually using. So I mean, like, that's awesome though, because that, like, I think everybody wants to see Luke rocking that lightsaber again.
But didn't he threw the motherfucker though? I mean, I'm pretty sure he threw it down the fucking pit.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the last cast, but I mean, it's just like we never saw it fall down the pit. We didn't see him pick it up either, and then like there were no... I would have to go back again and watch the end of Return of the Jedi to see if there's like a shot, like when he's standing by his father's funeral pyre, if you can see like a lightsaber hanging from his belt, because I can't remember at the moment. But so, I mean, like, maybe just like I'll have to go back, watch the end of Return of the Jedi, see if it shows up anywhere post explosion of the Death Star, and see if we can get some kind of confirmation that it's still around. If not, then like, even if that's the case, then they can just either, say like, well, you had it, and we just, you just
there it is, dude, right there. Check it out. Check that shit out. Check it out.
Oh Jesus, yeah, that is like very clear. I mean, like, even the color's even green,
right?
Like, that's it. I mean, that is the saber. That's the saber. I mean,
yep. So I mean, I'm surprised more people haven't picked it up on it, and I've just been lazy. I haven't posted about it because I've seen this days ago because I'm heavily involved in the toy photography community at this point. But look at that, dude. I mean, that is the Jedi fucking saber.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what does this mean? It says Luke's Return of the Jedi hilt is from the R2-D2 accessories.
Oh, that little shithead.
So did he add that as an addendum?
He must be cheating then.
He probably just put that in his hands.
Let's take that all back. Let's take it all back.
Yeah, so it looks like this dude just dropped in the saber into this guy's into his hands. But
I swear I saw it on other shit though.
Still,
too.
I mean, he has to have his own saber then. He's not going to run around the galaxy fighting.
Yeah, he has nothing.
Anything.
Yeah.
So
he's got to have something.
He either created another one, he made another one while he was on Acto, or he still has his Return of the... there's nothing that says that he doesn't have it anymore. We did not see it fall.
You're right. We didn't see it go anywhere, but, I mean, if anyone was paying attention, if anyone has spatial awareness in their ears, it went clank, 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 see you later. I mean, it was gone. He fucking tossed it off a goddamn bridge that was 4 feet wide.
You're not wrong. We'll see, though. We'll see. Cause we're going to see him with a saber.
Well, yeah, I'm the asshole who's trying to pretend that an action figure proved it was still around. So, fuck. I'm not. I mean, I want it to be real just as much as you do.
Yeah. But, he's going to have a saber. Stupid. So, we're less than 5 months out from seeing exactly which saber he has.
I can't wait. I wish we lived closer so we could go see it together, honestly.
I know. We're halfway across the country from each other.
It's a bummer. Yeah,
but
it's too bad we're not more important. Somehow we got paid to go somewhere to see it.
Right.
Because I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, I think Rian Johnson is a Mac daddy.
Yeah, I mean, this dude...
I really do. I mean, if you think about it, if you put all the shit in context from what's gone down on Han Solo and this, that, and the other thing, you didn't hear a goddamn peep out of Ryan's set, right?
No.
Outside of the one time, oh my God, Daisy has a towel in her head. She must have a different hairstyle. I mean, that's literally the only controversy that came out of his set last year.
Yeah, I mean, there was literally nothing. I mean, this dude didn't... Until now, he didn't even allow a substantial leak of any sort. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he took some pretty cool Rico Suave type of pics, but nothing that... I mean, we're talking close-ups of a panel.
Yeah.
Or, of a gun hilt. I mean, it was nothing insane. I mean... Ron Howard has already blown out any Star Wars director, period, as far as shares go.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, Ron Howard's showing so much stuff. He showed, the hyperspace, how they created hyperspace. I mean,
when they showed that, shit, I mean, he's just look, if anyone just looks at everything, you can see that this is clearly Lando with a Wookiee, probably Chewie, doing something, but they're on the Millennium Falcon, so what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. So there's a lot coming out from there. I mean, you can just follow Ron Howard on Twitter to find all of this stuff. I mean, he's very open with it. I think he's dropping stuff on his Twitter, his Instagram. Not sure if he's got a Facebook page. He might.
Yeah, all you need are those two. I mean, he kind of rotates between the two. Sometimes he double shares through Twitter, so you definitely want to follow Instagram and Twitter on Mr. Howard because you never know what he's going to share, and he shares some good shit.
Very true. But yeah, man, I think that about wraps it up for the
totally.
For the
I mean,
it
was just one of those weeks where you got some really major shit. I mean, there was something we didn't even talk about. There was a major leak of the Lego toy line that showed a ton of new vehicles that are coming out. I didn't even bother fucking with it, posting it because I knew the post that got pulled, it would have got pulled. I didn't want to waste double my time. So
yeah,
it just proves people we're getting that much closer to the Last Jedi. I mean, that's all this means is we're getting closer and closer and closer to the next Skywalker trilogy, and I'm so excited. I'm actually, Nick, I'm starting to get nervous for the pre-orders to see if it's going to crash the internet again.
Oh, you know it is.
Yeah, if I'm going to get tickets, dude, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's going to crash the internet, 100%. For
how
sure.
many times? How many times do you plan on seeing it opening weekend?
I mean, opening weekend. It depends. I have to see when I'm going to be traveling back to Louisiana for the holidays, since it's going to be a holiday release. I saw Last Jedi. I mean, I saw Force Awakens a total of 5 times in the theater, so I'm probably going to see Last Jedi probably twice opening weekend at the very least. It just, I mean, like, if I'm like really, really just love this movie, just completely, this is the best thing ever, probably 3. I mean,
yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna at least be at the 3 range, 2 guaranteed.
Yeah,
I mean, 2's guaranteed because I now have, I don't know about you, but my AMC theater has just gone above and beyond to make insane experiences. So we have theaters now that are fully Dolby Atmos, like the seats fucking vibrate and shit. So I imagine them having like a 2D screening there. So I'm going to have to catch one of those. I think I'm going to have to catch an IMAX, and I think I'm going to have to catch at least just a standard 2D. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to want all 3. I'm going to want like a 3D version, Dolby version, IMAX, shit, maybe 4, and then standard version. So maybe 4.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure that I'm going to have 3 screenings when I go back to Louisiana for the holidays, because I have one with my aunt every time a new Star Wars movie releases. I go see it with her. I do one with my group of friends back home, and then I'll do one with, like, I mean, it just depends. Sometimes I'll just go see it by myself when I'm home too. Or,
there's no shame in that, dude.
Yeah.
No shame in that.
So we'll see. I mean, but I'm definitely going to see it at least 5 times total.
Do you think
more.
the pre-orders are going to fuck up the shit again?
You would figure that
because
after
Rogue One, it was nothing. Rogue One, there was no ripples, but it still made billions, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think,
but
that
with Force Awakens, it literally shut down the internet for a few hours.
Yeah, I think that people like sites like Fandango and AMC site and all of these different movie websites they've tightened up their infrastructure since the
hope.
Everything went down with Force Awakens. And if not, then they will for sure approaching the Last Jedi release. Like, as soon as those pre-orders are announced and we have a firm date for it, every, movie ticket seller on the planet is going to, like, double down on their servers and make sure that they have enough infrastructure to handle all of the traffic that's going to be coming into their websites. So hopefully we don't have to deal with it, but we'll see.
Hey, people, it's coming. Trust me. I mean, Nick knows as well as I do. These industries that rely on the internet to sell stuff always fuck it up.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they will.
I can tell you right now, someone that's a huge toy collector. Last week was SDCC, so we had a lot of Funko exclusives and this, that, and the other thing that went on sale. Luckily, at shared retailers. But, dude, even then, I'm talking like sites crashing for hours. Barnes & Noble down.
Yeah.
No one learns their lesson. They don't care. They know eventually they're going to make their money. So
I mean, I think that the demand, to me, it is hard to beat the demand that there was for Episode 7 because...
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, it was the first Star Wars in 11 years in the theater in 11 years. Well,
I don't even think it was that. I mean, yes, that's huge, but I think especially for people like you and me, and hopefully most other fans that grew up with it when they were born before the 90s or whatever. It was like kind of a, all right, hey, there's hope. There's hope that we can love this franchise again, because Jesus Christ, those prequels really, 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 really fucked up what I loved. I'm just talking from my own heart. I mean, the prequels, and I wanted to love them, people. I mean, I saw Phantom Menace at least 10 times in theaters. At least. I saw Attack of the Clones probably 4 or 5 times. I saw Sith 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So, and I went to both Star Wars celebrations for, episodes 2 and 3. So I was all about it all. And I really wanted to believe they were good even after I saw them. But, deep down I was like, man, when I heard they were going to redo these back in 96 or whatever, I was 16. I just had so many different ideas and expectations than what I received. And it was such a bummer. And I really did struggle with my fandom. I did. I was like, what the fuck? What did I get myself into? Why do I like this so much after what we just saw with these fucking prequels?
Yeah, I mean, it was literally like living through the Imperial reign.
It's devastating. Like, to this day, what they did to Darth Vader will never sit with me. I mean, he is a permanently blemished villain forever because of what they did to his backstory.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go back and save that.
Ruined!
So...
He's a pussy bitch! He's a fucking pussy! That's all Darth Vader is. He's an angry little pussy.
We just need to, hold out hope of the prequel remake that...
Yeah, Jesus. Not even those, man. I mean, let's just hope that Disney comes to their senses and realize that if you want to do standalones, fuck the fringe people. I mean, not that Han is fringe, but he's fringe compared to fucking Darth fucking Vader.
Yeah, I mean, you're right too, because this is a great opportunity for Disney to just essentially make their own prequel trilogy without really touching the prequel trilogy.
Delete it. Just start when Vader's Vader. I mean, okay, the Anakin story's over. Yeah, it's what George wanted to tell. It was horrendous. It was horrific. It tarnished the character forever. But let's just kind of reboot it in this manner where we just start as, here's Vader, day one.
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, we've already seen early Vader in Rogue One.
Yeah, this is what Anakin had to deal with after he made that decision. And he knows it. I mean, deep down, you know that Vader knows he fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also too stubborn and too, like, all right, Palpatine's eventually going to tell me the secret. Eventually. So he just kept, living that life. But... You know as anyone else, I mean, the moment he made that decision, he was like, fuck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he knew. Because, like, the moment, like, right when his fall occurred, you knew that at that very moment, he wasn't going to get what he wanted. Like, it was too late. He realized, like, I fucked up, and there's no way for me to go back.
He sold out before he had any promise from Palpatine to teach him anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for Disney. So, I mean, you already have Rogue One, do the Obi movie, do the Darth Vader.
Oh my God.
Standalone.
Did you see speaking of Obi, and yeah, we're wrapping this thing up, people. I know it's been a little long, but we go on tangents. That's honestly the best part of this cast, and that's why you should love us. But did you see the Obi-Wan sideshow mythos character?
No.
Oh my God!
I'll look it up.
God, dude! Yeah, it's essentially. I mean, again, it's mythos, so it's nothing canon. But someone envisioned this figure.
Wow.
On like Obi, essentially, what would you say, about 10, 15 years into his watch with Luke?
Yeah. Now, dude, this looks incredible.
Isn't that badass?
This looks incredible. I mean, like. Just,
he has old like clone trooper armor.
Yeah.
He's got like a sand trooper or a Tusken Raider rifle.
Dude, that looks so incredible.
He's got the beard and the hair, and he's going gray.
Yeah, this is another thing right here. Just the fact that this was created. I want to see a movie about this character.
Right?
I mean,
that's the only reason I brought it up, because you were talking about Obi-Wan prequel. I'm like, dude, look at this.
Yeah, this is just incredible. I'm not a collectibles guy.
Right, but that's
like
something you consider. Yeah, it's something you consider
I might buy this.
Throwing the couple hundy down on. Yeah,
yeah, because this is just. I mean,
it's
this
beautiful.
is beyond
anything. It's beautiful. And
yes.
if I'm smart, I'll throw the images into the post when I post the podcast, because I mean, this is literally an amazing. It's a work of art. I mean, it's exactly what I would think Obi-Wan would look like in Tatooine as he has watched over Luke.
Yeah, and I mean,
it might even be 10 years in. I mean, honestly,
even if you just look at his face, the way that it looks like both Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. I mean, like, it's beautiful. It couldn't have been made any better. This is incredible. Yeah.
I mean, it's truly a work of art. So we'll leave with that, everyone. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed this cast. I mean, obviously no one was expecting these leaks to come out. I still don't know how we're even looking at them still. I mean, still some sites have them up. Obviously, Disney and Lucasfilm were quick to try to scrub them down from Imager and sites like that, but they're probably out there if you want to look them up. I'm not going to post them because it's dangerous shit, because there's no way anyone wanted these to come out prior to the movie. I mean, these are like, product photos, press photos, shit that comes out after the film to promote the film, promote the art book, promote this, that, and the other thing. But there's some good stuff in there if you want to look it up. I mean, the Snoke reveal, insane. I mean, there's still a lot of questions behind him as Nick and I approached, but I think it gives you a clear picture of, this guy's much more human than you may have thought, and he's much more disfigured than you may have thought. So, anything you want to conclude with, my friend?
No, man. I think we hit all the marks for this one. But yeah,
rock and roll.
Good stuff. Good leaks.
All right, people, you know how we do it. May the Force be with you always. We are out.